Mathieu et Dominique de la formation MUSE étaient dans nos studios pour leur seule entrevue au Canada, entrevue exclusive réalisée par Rob Camp, animateur à Chambre, et NRJ en a bénéficié.
Please welcome from England, Matt Bellamy and Dominic Howard from MUSE.
Hello, hello.
Let's get ready to rumble.
Hi guys, thanks first of all for stopping by here today. Is there a connection with you guys in Montreal, an affinity for the city in particular?
We've always had great concerts here. You know, we noticed that the crowd here seemed to pick up probably faster than anywhere else even anywhere in North America, I'd say, you know. It might be because of the French connection. We've always had a great following in France, and some of our best concerts have been in Paris, so I'm not sure if there's a connection there, but from our first tour in North America, Montreal always stood out as being one of the best audiences, yeah.
Robert, who was at the show last night with his two sons that are in their 20s, and he noted that your music spans the generations. He's in his late 50s, and his two sons are in their 20s. He wants to know who in the band is the French composer, because he cited Mon Cœur s'ouvre. From the Resistance album.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
I noticed you guys spoke a little bit of French last night up on stage. Is that sort of, oh, we're going to Montreal, we got to learn a couple of sentences, or?
It's good to know how to say hello and
Bonjour,
thanks
Montréal,
wherever
yeah.
you go.
Yeah, I've always...
that French
Berlioz.
bit in...
Berlioz is French, isn't he? Hector Berlioz. He was one of the... I think, isn't he? I don't want to get that wrong. But I think he is. But he was one of the first classical classical music stuff that I got into, really dramatic music.
Right.
That rubbed off on some of our early music, I think.
What was that French piece?
What? Don't do that. So, but yeah, Dom lives in France, and I think he's. Don't you? You live there. You spend some of your time there.
I have done, yes.
Yeah, so you should be learning French. But
I know, yeah.
You've got no excuse. Get that Rosetta Stone.
Complètement bilingue, Dominique?
Sorry?
Yes, right. Okay, moving on. To touch quickly on Panic Station, the video released just earlier, over 500,000 views. That's just on your YouTube channel alone. There might have been a little bit of misstep with the rising sun flag in the background.
Yeah, that happened straight away. We worked with a good friend of ours called Tim, who directed it, and he was with us in Japan. We just kind of threw together this sort of simple concept. I was just wandering. We're pretending to be basically Japanese pop stars for the day, dressing up in silly costumes and wandering around the streets of Shibuya, getting into this sort of whole costume play. We found this robot bar thing, and we just filmed the whole thing, put it together. Tim did the graphics, but yeah, obviously we didn't pay close enough attention. I didn't know. None of us really knew that was a particularly offensive imaging career. But obviously we found that out and took it out straight away. Yeah. Next time we tour, I would love to do what Prince did. You know, Prince used to come around, didn't he, and do like a big arena gig, and then that night or the next day he'd play a little club somewhere or pub or something.
Right.
I think that's a nice way. So you actually spend more than 2 or 3 days in a city. That might be a nice way to mix up touring for us, I think.
And the listener asked if you guys thought about doing a 10th anniversary tour for Absolution, or is that too soon? Do you have too many other things you want to do before that? Or?
We did a gig like that in 2011, which was 10 years from when we did our second album, Origin. We played that whole album and stuff. But next year, I think it would have been...
I think officially it's 2013.
Next year will be 20 years since we first played for the first concert that we played together, the three of us, when we were like 14 years old. And no, we were 16. No, how old are we now?
Not as old as you're suggesting we are.
No, what were we, 15? I've forgotten. Anyway, but all I know is next year will be 20 years since the first concert we played. So we might do something next year, but I'm not sure what though. Yeah.
Dominic, are you going to start writing songs and singing as well? Or?
We've got to hit the booze first, don't you?
Give it a few years.
Yeah, we'll see. I normally say that my singing stops as I leave the shower.
My wife made me ask this question: how much vocal training did you give Kate for her arc on Glee?
No, she didn't email. She's actually a really good singer. She's I couldn't believe it when I first met her. She sat on the piano and started playing all these songs, and I was like, wow, hold on a minute. She's been singing all her life, you know. I think really that's what she would have loved to do, you know. But she obviously went into acting and stuff, and then so finding these roles where she gets to sing, I think she really enjoys that stuff. I didn't have to give her any. She gives me lessons. Actually,
they didn't try to convince you to come on the show.
What, on Glee?
Yeah.
I mean, you know. I won't want to bring the
not
vibe down.
happen.
Do you know what I mean? I think it might. I don't know, maybe.
I know you have a son, and you broke your foot, and because you were doing gardening.
No.
Or is that just a vicious rumor?
No. I was chasing the dog around the garden.
Oh, okay.
It was kind of gardening, but I got off tour and hadn't seen the sunshine for a while. I think. No. Where were we? No, we were touring in Europe in the winter time, so it was snowy and cold, and I went home to LA for a few days, and it was just like sunny. I just lost it. Got excited in the sun. I was chasing the dog around, got really excited, and there was a slightly dewy wetness on the grass, and took a corner too fast, skidded, and there was a brick wall there, and my middle toe smashed into the corner of it, and I stood up. I just saw my middle toe just dangling.
Ladies and gentlemen, Matt and Dom from MUSE.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you. Cheers.
Les gars de MUSE étaient super généreux lors de leur passage en studio. Et si vous voulez voir l'entrevue intégrale, vous vous rendez au radioénergie.ca.
Madness.